All right, we're now live on YouTube. Anything you say or do will be out there forever.
Did you see my friend?
You did not work. I have the
That we always see. Oh, yeah. That's-
All right, let's call the meeting to order. Got all the aldermen here. I'll check that, Sharon. Got our clerk, Melissa Martin, got our attorney, Rocky Eaton. If we could get Alderman Craig Bullock to lead us in the prayer and the pledge.
Let us pray. Father, we thank you for today. Thank you for the privilege, the honor to be here. God, we thank you for our wonderful city. Thank you for our citizens, and just thank you for the community that we share. God, I pray that as we meet tonight, that we will just be of one accord, that we will seek your will and your guidance in our decisions. And, God, I pray that as we enter into these next few days and this week of the Christmas season, God, that we will just never forget the reason for the season and the fact that we can celebrate the birth of your son. I pray that you will just forgive us of our failures and just help us to honor and glorify you in all that we do and say. So in Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, I'd like to welcome everybody to a historic meeting of the Board of Aldermen for the city of Petal. We have I guess, a historic year next year. We'll talk about that a little bit as we go over the next few weeks. Is that we're going to be 50 years old. We have a very special thing taking place tonight. Almost seems surreal, but let's get into this thing and see where it takes us. Is there a motion to adopt the agenda? Motion. Is there a second?
Second.
You think we would let him just do it like motion and second, one to second? Got a motion, got a second, all in favor?
Aye.
All righty, is there a motion to accept the consent agenda, number 1 and 2?
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All righty, we've got public comment. Come on up here, Mr. Jackson.
Thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak. I'd like to thank the mayor, the aldermen that attended this past weekend ribbon cutting, as well as our expansion. I didn't think it was going to be as big a deal as it was, but I really appreciate y'all taking the time out and showing that support. It meant a great deal to myself, my staff, and everybody in attendance. So I decided to get dressed up and tell y'all how much I appreciate y'all hanging out with us. All right.
We appreciate
That
you.
may be the
Thank
most
you.
that I've ever seen at a ribbon cut.
Really did. It was great, nice setup, so great job. Great to see that get to this point. I know there's going to be bigger and greater things on down the road as well. Appreciate that.
Thank you, sir.
Glenn Moore, where you at? Okay, we're going to do something about this podium. I can't ever see that people hide from me back there.
I'm gonna be talking
All the keys are right there.
Go ahead, Glenn, appreciate being here tonight.
Hey, good evening. I just wanted to call or come by actually and talk to y'all about, Chief Hyatt had approached me a little while back about possibility of a second 911 position in the police department, which I'm thankful that he has a need for a second position. For those of y'all that don't know, I started my career in dispatch, so I'm very familiar with dispatch. Federal really needs 2 dispatchers 24 hours a day. The amount of call volume that we see them take, the amount of officers they got on the street dispatching for the fire department. So I'm thankful that they've got 2 positions now during the daytime. One limitation is now, if there's 2 911 calls come in at the same time, they've either got to put one on hold or, transfer that other call. So by having a second position, both of them will be able to sit there and take 911 calls. And if you've ever been in there before, anytime you have a wreck, there's 4 or 5 people calling in, especially if it's out on Evan Gandy or a high traffic area. So My council met this morning and they voted to amend my budget to allow us to purchase that new 911 call taking console for y'all. Roughly about $24,000 will be paid for that. AT&T loves to tack on monthly maintenance agreements. So there's about a $2,000 maintenance agreement that'll come with that. And we'll also agree to pay for that. So the second thing is about 2 months ago, Hattiesburg Police Department, their encoder that sets the siren off, it broke. It was old, outdated, so it had to be replaced. Whenever they got the new one in, it had a lot more capabilities than what the one at Petal, the one that's at Petal PD now, the one that's in my office, and obviously the one that was at Hattiesburg. Now, basically, to keep it simple, there's enough of buttons on there that every siren, individual siren, can be put on one button. All of the Petal sirens can be put on the button. All of the Hattiesburg sirens can be put on the button. The great thing about that is if there's a issue where Petal's encoder was not to work for some reason, or we're the backup for both places, that wasn't working. Now Hattiesburg's able to set it off. So you got 3 different ways to set the ones on. So what I want to do is I want to replace the encoder at the EOC and at Petal to make it match Hattiesburg's. That way, for some reason, if somebody calls us, we know that all 3 of them are the same. We can tell them push this button and look on this part of it. So what I'm proposing is, and the council agreed to this at the meeting too, we will purchase the new encoder for y'all. The only thing is we just ask y'all to purchase this and we'll reimburse it for y'all. So, I mean, we'll have a check cut for y'all. Chief Hyatt has that quote. It's about $3,000, a little over $3,000. So we will pay for that just so that all 3 agencies are using the same type of equipment. So, Merry Christmas. There's about
No, I appreciate that. I appreciate you continuing to work with us. It's kind of nice to have the partnership that we do, and we always try to seek outside when we try to collaborate for things like that, especially when we're talking about our resident safety. I know that's foremost in your mind when you do stuff. Glenn also helps us when he opens up the safe room and things of that nature. So he's got a big task ahead of him. And guess what? I think this is the cold season, but it goes into tornado season to hurricane season.
There's 2 seasons in Mississippi. There's not 4. There's a tornado season and hurricane.
Yes.
Go straight from
Get
hurricane
some time off for sure, but anyway, we appreciate it. We can add that, see if we can add that maybe at number 13 on the roof. Oh, okay, yeah, we'll do that, Chief. I think you'll have to green light if that's the will of the board. Shouldn't be a problem.
Like I say, if y'all do, we will cut the check next week.
Yeah.
We'll be there.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank y'all.
Good seeing you, man. Not on here, but where is Matt Fountain at? Is he out there eating the cookies already?
No, I just got done.
Hey, Matt wanted to come up and talk and explain any questions that you guys might have. We've gotten a check back. Melissa would know that the exact amount, it was 12,000 something. It was just part of our contract with them that if there is some things that favor us, we get a little bit of money back. And we don't always expect that. And when we went with Clearwater to do that, it wasn't a cost saving effort, but it is good when it works out that way.
So what we did is, we didn't break budget, so we come under budget, which was left over was $12,000 and some change. I can't even remember how much it was. So we get it back. That's, as a repair and maintenance budget. That's pretty much all I got. Not big on speeches or anything. Yeah, just want to let y'all know that we returned money back to the city, and we got real tight on some things, but we made it work. Everything's working properly. Well, most everything's working properly.
Now you can go take a vacation.
Well, I thought that we would grow into this contract as it goes. It was obviously not as new. to you guys, but obviously it was new to us as well. And I know Alderman Brickson and Steve are going to have some conversations probably over the next couple of weeks that are going to move forward. I think that'll benefit both parties when it's all said and done. So anyway, appreciate that. Any questions or anything? I should say about anything. Here's your chance.
Only target. Thank you, Matt.
Appreciate it.
Have a well-deserved vacation.
And return to your seat behind this podium so I can see you. But anyway, I guess here's the moment we were waiting for. Kind of funny, it's almost surreal, as I mentioned earlier. Under proclamations and resolutions, number 3, is there a motion to accept the proclamation recognizing Steve Stringer's service to the city of Petal?
Motion. Second.
All in favor? I'll go ahead and read what the proclamation is. And it's basically, whereas Steve Stringer has faithfully served the city of Petal as an elected official since 2001, whereas his dedication, commitment, and tireless efforts have greatly contributed to the betterment and progress of our community, whereas Steve Stringer has consistently demonstrated a strong work ethic in his role as an elected official, whereas his leadership and vision have led to significant achievements and positive changes throughout our city. Now therefore be it proclaimed that we, the city of Petal, express our deepest gratitude and appreciation to Steve Stringer for his long and exemplary service to our community. We commend him for his unwavering dedication, passion, and commitment to the well-being and prosperity to our community. We extend our heartfelt thanks to Alderman Stringer for his countless hours of hard work, his willingness to listen to the concerns and needs of the people, and his unwavering commitment in making a positive difference in the lives of our citizens. May this proclamation serve as a testament to the outstanding contributions and achievements of Alderman Stringer during his long service as an elected official, and a wish for continued success in his new role as Forest County Supervisor.
Amen.
Wow.
I couldn't get a picture of him. I need a picture of him hanging that coat.
Oh, yeah. Well, here, let's go around and we'll get a picture with everybody if we can. Bring him around.
Y'all shut that.
I don't know what the mayor did. Come back in here, tell it to y'all. Yeah, kind of how we do the.
Whatever you need to be on the phone.
Is he gonna hang?
Hey, Steve, you gonna hang it up there and leave it there for you? Okay, good. You got us to say?
I want to make sure. I got you.
Okay, can Paula come around here? I like
Y'all
all the.
got in there together. Who is Paula?
If she stands behind the counter, she won't be
Yeah,
seen.
you can't see her.
We're gonna need you to take a few pictures of us.
Oh, and get your wife from him. Come on, wife. He can't see
Come on, Kim.
Come on, you too, come on.
Come on, Evan.
Hang on, Miss Lady.
I hate that you are in
Oh, you children.
Got some professionals out there.
You don't. Are we ready for them?
Yep,
Come on in here.
Get him there. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
If we could, one more, let's get all the employees that are here.
Oh, come on, employees.
I thought y'all were gonna get out of this, didn't you? That's for standing behind the podium.
There's one of the officers could aim a gun at Steve before he leaves. Hey,
Now, we're going to bring the class up and go on. Yeah, you got to back way out. I'm going to share this back there.
Y'all get in there.
They ain't seeing you. That's up now.
Anybody else want to get in the picture?
What are engineer? Come on now.
I gotta wait for them to move, so I can get them. Get Doug past it. Okay. You feel like a normal person?
Yeah, no.
You feel like a normal- you feel like a normal person?
Andre, why don't you stand you the camera? You just about hit the
You want me to say something? Look, y'all, but this is unbelievable. I can't believe I just telling Melissa and Amy and Michelle while ago, I was 35 when I first got elected to this job. So that means they're old too. So, first off, I want to thank my wife and my family. Cause in this job, you gotta have your family support. But I just hope that, the city keeps growing like they're growing. And I'm just glad that I could be a part of it. So, thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
Mayor, can I say one thing about that? I don't
Yeah,
know what.
he's not changing your phone number.
I
He's got the same phone number, so you're
Yeah,
good.
I don't know what we're gonna do though, cause when I call him, he comes.
Well, you gonna
And
keep
I just
calling.
hope I get a mayor.
You still live in the county.
I know it. I just hope we get somebody, whoever we collect, that's gonna be like he is. Cause I don't care when I call him, he coming.
Yeah.
And that's what I like about a person. If you don't tell me you coming, I'm waiting for you to come. If I tell you I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. But if I tell you straight, I ain't gonna do it, I'm not gonna do it. But he has never failed. Out of all the years, he's been my alderman, not to show up. And he's been my alderman since I've been over yonder when we got annexed in the city and lived in a palace. And I think I was in my 40s when I think, might have been lower there. I don't even know what that, but we just had that thing to the city and lived in a palace. But I was there already down there, but it wasn't there when I moved out here now. But ever since I've been in the city, and when we got in there, he's been my alderman, he was my alderman, and he's been a good one too. I ain't saying y'all ain't good, y'all ain't my alderman, I'm just talking about mine. But he has been a good alderman.
I say I'll go you one better than that. There's been times we've had meetings, and if he thought something was going to affect your area, he'd say he's gotta come and talk to you guys. So
That's right.
sometimes you gotta visit and didn't even have to make a phone call.
That's right.
So
He
that's
come visit me, but if I'm just at the house doing
That's a sign of service right there.
Right,
You
and
probably
I-
still do that.
That's right, and I've been down with my knee. I told my practice, he calls and check on me to see how I'm doing. You don't get very many people to do that, but he'll call and check on me to see how I'm doing. So, I'm gonna miss him, I'm gonna tell y'all, I'm gonna miss him, but that ain't gonna stop me from coming.
Well, we got a good one going on, Miss Davis, so we'll get you.
Steve will say you'll get us, we'll get that.
I'm gonna let Melissa.
Yeah, I'm going over there too. I bet I get told of what I'm
Right,
doing.
moving on, so we will break. As you may have noticed, we do have a need for an executive session at the request of Alderman Stringer, Supervisor-elect Stringer. We will break and then we'll come back in for that. So anyway, just a heads up. Bids and quotes, is there a motion to request to accept bids from Stevens TPS Inc. in the amount of 105,000 gallons even for a 500,000 gallon tanking per SDW? Is there a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
That's something that we've talked about before. It was just unfortunate. The work wasn't really done like it needed to be done on the first time. Somebody's gonna say, wow, I need to get into the paint business. This is the inside of the tank. Take them the money, let them do all that. So, that's why that number is. Incredibly, we got 10 bids for that. Unheard of these days. It seems like we get 1, 2, 3.
I get tired of painting regular,
Ten,
regular.
yeah,
bedroom.
you
I can't imagine painting
I think
inside.
claustrophobic or something, but that's some needed work as well, and to continue, the board continues to push to make sure we, do as much good as we can with the money that we have in our hands. We won't go to the bank with this, we'll pay cash for this and get it taken care of. No old business, going into general business. Number 5, request to, approve addendum to extend time for contract on Matthews Branch sidewalk improvements. Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
That basically is just extending the deadline. Obviously, we hope to put a shovel in the ground and have this completed. Fortunate that Commissioner King was able to sign off on this real quick and get this taken care of. And I have spoken with him. We'll try to have him at a meeting back end of January. And thank him for his long time in service. Number 6, request to pay estimate number 2 in the amount of $282,151.40 to Sports Contractors Unlimited LLC for turf at Robert E. Russell Sports Complex for SDW.
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
How many, more papers we got on
Close out.
there?
I think quite a few, if that's number 2.
Yeah.
How many more are there, John, do you think?
Yeah, they're gonna start putting out, turf at the first of the year. Hopefully they'll be done by November.
Very fortunate. I mean, we would have started any later
It's been tough, wouldn't it?
because the weather was perfect for them to, or this could have been delayed even more. Also, every time I mention, we've got a motion, got a second, all in favor?
Aye.
And we have done some drainage improvements. I haven't checked that out, John, down there at the triplex for the girls softball.
It's looking good.
Also note that, the girls can play softball on the turf too, so it's gonna give us a lot of options. I always wanna mention one without the other, so we're not playing favorites. Number 7, request to pay estimate number 3 in the amount of $88,248.43 to TL Wallace for splash pad for SDW.
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
I'm not loud.
All in favor?
You ready for the door?
What, we're on, that thing's almost done, isn't it?
Yes, they still gotta get the fence up and just a little, just a little stuff.
When you think they'll be actually done, are they done with the splash pad, just waiting on the fence now?
Pretty much, that's it.
And you cut it on, letting Melissa come
I
out
think
dry?
that's, yeah, we need to let Melissa know the minute water's coming out of any of those sprinkler heads.
We can do a ribbon cutting mid-January.
Yeah.
No.
We didn't choose the heater option.
You know, there's kids that would actually take us up on that.
Melissa Woods.
All right, and number 8, request to accept a supplemental agreement number 1 and authorize the city clerk to advertise and make final payment to Holiday Construction in the amount of $16,140 for Sherry Lynn culvert replacement for SCW.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 9, request to accept Planning Commission's recommendation to grant a special exception allowing the construction of a new home without a hard surface driveway at 1703 Carterville Road. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Got a motion and a second. I would say that we would add to,
I've already been told that, we will certainly put a 10-foot entrance
Yeah.
from the
we
street in
typically,
there. Asphalt probably, maybe even concrete.
yeah, we don't get it.
But let me ask you this.
Yeah.
I've got most of my household stuff in a large container unit. I'm going to have somebody come in with a truck. It's hell getting out of that driveway on that curve anyway. Can we do that after we move into the house and get all this
Yeah,
stuff away?
I don't see that as a problem.
I mean, because there's gonna be a lot of equipment coming and
For the
going.
long-term protection of the road.
Right.
As your alderman, I'm gonna ask, because of that curve,
Yes.
that we have, chief, we're gonna need somebody out there to come around that corner. So somebody,
Oh, sure.
yeah,
Yeah,
we need let us know when it's gonna happen.
Sure.
Call the police station.
Absolutely.
Let chief know what's going on, just for safety aspects.
Oh, no, absolutely, we'll do that.
That's, as you make
It was a
that
lot of
progress.
fun getting it in there, so yeah, we can certainly.
Especially if you get stuck and somebody comes around that corner like they normally do.
Oh, yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
we can get to it.
I saw that, I'm fine with it.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
absolutely fine with it.
Yeah, that'd be better.
Then we can see through it.
It's back in a good way.
How far are you doing the asphalt into the,
Probably about 10 feet in.
I prefer to be longer than that, because gravel could travel more 10 feet and travel. I don't want gravel to get on the road. And that's the
Oh,
whole
you know,
reason.
gravel has not gone on the road and there was no pad there and it was gravel for 35 years. I'm just saying, I mean, I maintain it. I was in the landscape business. I'm a forestry guy. It will not be a problem. I can, if it is,
And I arbitrarily do that.
I'll get in trouble.
I travel that road
Amy-
at least 3 times a week, it's not a problem.
What is the normal length? You know, it seems like there is a normal cut-in, or maybe John knows.
We've done it.
If
We've
you,
made that
are you
requirement
talking about from
before.
where the road is into the
Yeah, we
driveway?
used to not make that,
I
because
mean,
then we
they
started
put
kind
this
of
a
going with
little
the
bit.
If you
heavy.
see
or
what,
something
when
sort.
they asphalt that, it never is more than about 7 or 8 feet in.
Our place, we
When
make
they asphalt those driveways.
Yeah,
So,
20.
Park Place Pharmacy,
Yeah, but we wanted the ground on for that road.
I get that, too. There's a reason for that.
It's on Cargill, right?
Park Place
No,
Pharmacy?
no, our place had access to that commercial road too.
I get that, but we're talking about out here. I've been up and down that road many times, and it's
We're
always.
also on the downside of the curve
Yeah.
too, so it doesn't.
I don't understand.
right.
I'm
And
just, I can't let it think of it.
So you're gonna put that in? You're gonna do it?
So who made the?
Yeah, just, yeah.
And it is a small hump, and it drops over and flattens out, correct?
Oh, yes.
Okay, got a motion, got a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
Number 10, request to accept inspection services agreement with Craig Farr for building inspections. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion
Is there a second?
for discussion. Amy, get up and tell us about this.
I think he's here.
Yes,
Good to
it's
hear.
here.
Good, good.
Craig is here.
Tell us about yourself.
Well, Bill Rogers is retiring at the end of this month. So I've known Craig a long time, Bill's known Craig a long time, and we think he'll fit in perfectly with our system. But, go ahead, Craig.
How y'all doing tonight?
Right.
Well, I worked construction for 29 years. I actually trained with Bill over at the city of Hattiesburg. I was a building, plumbing inspector, mechanical inspector over there. Did that for 3 years. I've kept up with my certifications. Plan on getting the remainder certifications so that I can help y'all out as much as possible.
Awesome, any questions? Obviously, just to tell the public, the arrangement we usually have is we end up being a pass-through. There's some of the things when you build, that we are billing you, but it's just really a break-even deal to pay off some of the fees that we pay, in accordance with the building inspections that we have to uphold our code and stuff. But, any questions from the board?
Craig, are you actively engaged in any building companies, or are you completely separated from that?
No, I'm actually completely separated. The only company that I'm working for now is I'm doing plans review for house plans on.
And where are they located at?
They're located in Hattiesburg.
Okay, do they do any building in Petal?
They don't do any building. They are doing design work over here. That's about it. It's Jonathan Boone.
So if there's a conflict of interest between,
I'm pulling out of it.
Good answer.
thank you, appreciate that.
Thank you.
All righty, got a motion, got a second, all in favor?
Nice to meet you.
Nice to
Yeah.
meet you.
Thanks, Barry. Number 11, request to appoint Kayla Sedetall to the SEMCIC for a term of 3 years. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? That is for, that deals with some small business lending, and it's something that goes to the ADP. She has served the past year, finishing out a term, and now she'll get a full 3-year term on her own, and I'm very appreciative of her service. Number 12 was something that we had added to the agenda. I meant to add that, and then I realized we didn't, but it's a request to, well, you did now, but I mean, not on Friday. No, that wasn't Melissa's fault. It was my fault, actually. But request to auction Dodge Ram pickup in the water department through Gov Deals. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
This is one of the vehicles that, I should say, Clearwater has no use of. And I can verify that, because I went over there and actually picked the truck up and it's parked over here. So I get in and occasionally drive it around. It is a long bed diesel. I see no need for that. The reason it's gov deal and not the regular auction, I believe, is because we can set a number on there, so we won't get totally hammered.
So they can go into
It's
that.
valued at a little over 40,000. At some point, once this all takes place, I'll probably come back for you and say if we can get a smaller truck, so we can have something here, so we can knock around and pick up trash or whatever.
So once you set a number to it, they can't go under that.
Yeah, and I think the other auction, you might
Yeah, they can do that.
get a deal or something. And now that John has heard us say this, he would be down out there at Martin and Martin, and there we go. But anyway, appreciate that. No seminars and travel. What in the world? No seminars and travel. Orders and ordinances. Number 13, request is there a motion to request to adopt the hiring of Marie Nakan as part-time dispatcher at a rate of $12 per hour effective 12/20/2023 for Chief Hyatt. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, Chief.
Hey.
You introduced Hey, you know, if I had to give a speech, she gotta give one.
That's what I told
Yeah,
her. Anyway,
that's right.
a lot of years of experience already. She's looking for some part-time work. She's looking for some part-time help. She's gonna be a great benefit and asset to it. Look forward to having her.
That's good. Appreciate you coming on board with the team, and I will give kudos to the board. That is one of the areas, being very responsive to what our police department needs, as far as an area we felt was lacking, but guess what? Money was also lacking. So that's one of the areas we would like to see some improvement, or more folks over there. I think it makes us safer. It makes the city function a lot better. It's just something that's unseen until it's needed. So I appreciate you bringing those matters to us, and
I told her she could go.
yeah, that's fine. Talk for another 5 minutes.
She's already got it figured out.
I guess she'll have to watch it on YouTube, but anyway, appreciate the board on that. But anyway, we'll have some explanation and discussion on this one. Number 14, request to adopt an ordinance 2023 150 instituting a temporary moratorium for two-family and multi-family dwellings. Is there a motion? Motion. Is there a second for discussion? You want to say it?
Yeah, I'll just add this at the beginning. I did have, just for us to address in the other comments that we're making about this, I did have one family get in touch and say that they felt that this was targeting poorer families. I figure we want to address that and talking about this.
This isn't this. It touches on several things. And one person that I discussed that's a builder was more concerned as well about the length of time, and it's basically up to 12 months. We hope to basically come in and give ourselves some time to see how we want our apartment construction going forward, how it looks. In the right setting, it's fantastic, but obviously there are things that you can do. We don't treat R1 or single family the way we do the multifamily. You can have smaller spaces. There are some things with drainage that can be issues. So I think those are some of the things that Amy and I will sit down and have some recommendations for the board going forward. With the newer apartments, it's definitely not targeting the poor, because usually the rent's pretty high on those to begin with. So this isn't something where we're going to say for the next 10 years, we're not going to have apartments. I do see them as part of the equation. But with some other growth that we know is coming, we need everything from time to get some of our infrastructure worked out. And as you hear, some of the things that are on here, a lot of infrastructure stuff taking place. So it's not one of those things. You're going to see this is similar to what you see over in Lamar County. And then they come in and see how they really want to address those things. And Amy might can answer this one. The square footage, minimum square footage for an apartment is what, 1,200 square foot?
1,200.
Single family is 1,400 square foot. So you just have to watch that. I know it takes a lot longer to build 300 houses compared to 300 apartment units. And then what that does to our sewer system, for instance, our water system, things of that nature. So it's things we're working on. We just need a little time to see how we're going to address that going forward. So some of this growth's coming, and it doesn't really matter who's sitting up here from that instance. Once the Gandy, if somebody said, how do you stop it? Well, you built the Gandy, go tear the game up. I mean, once that was, I mean, we're gonna get on somebody's radar for building at some point. So, I mean, it's gonna be, I mean, it's a lot different than when I moved here in
And
1998.
it shows you what kind of city federal coming, people want to come.
Got number one school district, you got a safe city, you got a town class 4 fire rating. I guess the challenge for this board and administration is going to be, how does that look 5 years from now? So you hire good people and try to let them make a lot of those calls when it comes to that standpoint. But hopefully, we'll have something sooner rather than later addressing this, when it's all said and done. But anyway.
Nick, can I just ask, is Magnolia Trails, was that already submitted part of this?
We've already approved their variances previously.
So
they would not follow.
they're not, yeah, they're not, okay, they're not.
In which they had 20 townhomes, but that wouldn't fall into
Okay.
this moratorium.
Thank you for confirming that.
And that's a good example of growth.
There's a lot of cube growth already.
Trash that kid, you got sewer, I think really on our side is sewer, and we're addressing that, some of the outside monies we're trying to do, to put into that, and I'll mention something in our mayor's report as well, about some of the efforts that we're making. But, anyway, we got, anything else? Got a motion, got a, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? In the mayor's report, I think this is gonna be a cupcake time, but let me say this before we get off of, YouTube. The soccer fields are getting ready, Josh. He's like, oh, no, there's something, call on me for something. But the soccer fields are ready to do something. We have had some conversations with the YMCA. One of my markers on that was that we don't come in as big bad government and throw a bunch of money in it and put the Y out of business. First off, this is our first go at this. So there are some things we can learn from them. And in our discussions with a few of the folks that we would really lean on from setting these leagues up, they would be more than fine to let the Y do what they do, because they only do to a certain age. And then we would take off of that with the whole thrust of being a feeder program to our high school, which really hasn't taken place in that sport. So that's one thing. So we'll work through some of those discussions. I think just talking to Josh earlier today, we're probably looking on our side having a fall league, because we want to sign up with the
association.
With an association. I'm not trying to think of the word, thank you. So we sign up with the association, get all that stuff, and be able to run into that. However, I think the YMCA may be able to use those fields, and we can do some learning off of what they're gonna do. They're already using our fields over here. They'd basically be able to move over there and do some expanding. But obviously, they'd be at the table with us, understanding, like, we don't want you to expand into the age groups we want to do, one of those kind of things. So we'll keep going in the middle of that as we work through that. But another good project, glad to see it kind of get to this point. But anyway, if I could get that sounds good. Let's let Alderman Stringer get one more motion. I would ask
Recess?
for Alderman Stringer, if you would make the motion to have a slight recess, and we will come back and see the need for an executive session.
I'll make a motion, we have about a 20-minute recess.
Is there
Then
a
we
second?
come back.
I think we have to table it.
Table back there.
Is there a second? We'll let Alderman Bullock since he's now the oldest guy on the.
That's 10 years.
Got a motion, got a second, all in favor?
Oh, chicken fight.
That was quick.
All in favor?
Why are Mike and I?
Where's that